Am I wearing a wig? Yes. Why? I wanted bangs, and my Yumeko Jabami wig has bangs. So I am a cosplayer. First and foremost, I am a cosplayer. I also am wearing a beautiful piece of merch that I got when I met Monet Exchange. Beautiful. I love Monet, and she is even more beautiful in person. So if you get a chance to meet her, I would highly recommend. 10 out of 10 recommend. I recommend meeting your drag queen faves. Yas, girly pops. It's Finny. I'm back with another reaction video. All right, so there's a couple of things that we're going to address in this video before we react to Miss Amberlynn, because oh boy, from the title alone, it looks like it's going to be quite the ride. So before we get into Amber's new video today, I did want to come on here and discuss some comments and messages that were brought to me on my last video about Jade. So it's the one entitled, "We Need to Talk About Jade Speculation Station." Now, there are two things I'm going to address, and one of them I'm really not going to address in the future, and the second one is a little more pressing to me. So I did have someone named Low Tier God, not that Low Tier God, but Low Tier God, talk about their knowledge in the Hannibal situation and how Jade responded to them. The other portion is about the allegations that Jade was married to someone who had unlawful contact with a minor. And that one I'm just going to touch briefly on. I looked into it a little bit more, and there's someone who is out there who's named Jade Salomon, who has LinkedIn, who has an entire Rate My Professor, and they have the same date of birth as the person who is in the divorce court records, and they are a different person. That's all I can sort of say. I know that other people are more convinced that Jade and this Jade Salomon are the same person. Maybe something will come out in the future. I don't know. That it is entirely a possibility that something new could come out to really solidify the veracity of this claim. For me, right now, there's just not enough proof, and there's not enough concrete evidence for me to definitively say, yep, those are the same person. And this is not to talk badly about anyone else who has videos or has content that is trying to make sense of this situation, because Jade has been extremely dodgy with it. So I'm not going to blame other people for feeling like she's hiding something, because she can easily disprove this claim. And I've talked to several people, and they've said if this was a claim against them, they would absolutely 110% come out and be like, that's not me, and show proof that it's not them. And I think a very easy way for her to do this would be like, here's my month and day of birth, because that would show that it's either the same or different than the divorce papers. It's pretty easy to clear up. But the second portion is concerning to me, because it shows a pattern of behavior in defending abusers. And I guess that, and I've seen this in several comments, several people spoke about it, several people in the sphere that she was in before deleting her channel have said that she defended Hannibal on multiple occasions, which I found some additional information about this person. And it looks like they were arrested, that this is a common trait of theirs to be abusive towards their partners, and that she came on and defended him on multiple occasions. And then I guess she also defended Logan, who is also known as Observe, which I actually do know, because that is a pretty well-known YouTube channel. And I think that is concerning. I don't think that I can just sit here on my channel and talk about how Amber is abusive to her partners, and then have someone who is running a channel with one of Amber's exes who was abused by her who has a history of defending abusers. Like, it's just very hypocritical. And now Jade deletes all the comments or ignores super chats that have to do with this situation. My comments have been deleted. I unfollowed that podcast because that portion of the allegations is absolutely verifiable. They are out there. People have said more than once, and more than one person has said this. It's not like it's just, a random person in the live chat who was like, why are you defending this person? Like, she scrubbed the internet of her crap, but this was still out in the ether. And it's not, like I said, it's not just a random comment that appeared out of the blue one day. It's multiple people. I just wanted to clear that up before I get into amberlynn. I know it's a little serious, but I think it is important that when new information comes out, either supporting or disputing claims that I have made on my channel, that it's my responsibility to come on here and discuss it, especially after I made a video directly speaking on the situation. And I said in my video too that I wasn't fully aware of it. So I appreciate people from everywhere, any side of the internet, talking to me, leaving comments about what has gone on that side of the internet. So thank you to everyone who reached out. Thank you to people who left comments. All I ask is that you remain respectful. Don't leave any hateful comments. I understand having questions or not being fully knowledgeable on the situation and wanting clarification, but make sure you remain respectful. I don't endorse anyone with bullying and harassing comments. That's not the vibe I want on my channel. I really want to keep it lighthearted and also discuss serious things when they need to be discussed. So I appreciate that. All right, now that we've discussed that, gotten the housekeeping done, let's jump into Amber's new video. She conveniently uploaded it like an hour ago while I was getting ready. So it is called, I Was a Controlling Girlfriend and Maybe I Am the Problem. Let's Talk, episode 2. Do you really think she's going to say that she was the problem? No, I don't think so. I don't think so in the slightest. I guess we'll see. Will Amber take accountability? It's like spinning a wheel and there's just no, it all says no on it in different colors. Can I help you, Jinxie? Oh, she's got fur stuck in her mouth because she's grooming herself. That's going to come up later. Gross. All right, let's see what our bestie has to say about this situation.
Hello. Welcome to a new Let's Talk, episode 2. I enjoyed episode 1, so I know I'm going to enjoy this one as well. This is literally like a Q&A on steroids. So we're just going to like hop right into it. But let's get into sweet and sour.
Great.
This is where I am taking a random YouTube generator comment picker, and I'm going to be going to my last Let's Talk episode and choosing random comments from there, and then we're going to read them together. So let's do it. Hot Dog Pasta said, I wouldn't exactly call you clever, ... Cringe? Absolutely, but never clever. Well, we can agree to disagree. Lena XX575 said, how do you even masturbate? You can't even reach there. Whoa. Are you in my bed with me? I absolutely...
I don't need that information, Amber, but also like that first one was totally correct. You're really not clever. You think you are, but you're not. She really thinks she's smarter than she is, I think, is the issue. So
we can trust that. CSF801 said, it is also giving fatphobic. Like, she thinks being fat is inherently ugly, but we are the ones being fatphobic. ... I have always been about body positivity. One of my celebrity crushes is Tess Holiday. I have been very vocal.
Why? She's like an awful person. Hold on.
About that. And she is plus size. She is...
Okay, but like she also, didn't she like have a fashion line that ended up being like scammy? I don't know. I could be speaking out of my ass on that one, but also Amber, you literally have said, not just to your partners, but recently you said that if you were skinny, you would make it to LA. And you've told your partners that if you were skinny, you wouldn't be with them. I mean, if you want to use Tess Holiday as an example, like she is very well known and she is a bigger girl, so she made it to LA on her size. So there, it doesn't have anything to do with you being fat. It has to do with you being a terrible person. Well, I mean, Tess Holiday did too. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like the allure of Tess Holiday at first, and then people were like, maybe not so much.
What people call fat. But to me, she is so attractive, literally stunning. I do not.
Also, I don't think there's any issue with being like someone is fat. Her being like, she's fat. She is fat. I'm fat. Like, I'm not going to just beat around the bush. Like, I'm a fatty. I don't care. Amber being like, she's fat. Okay. You're fat. I'm fat. We're just different types of fat.
I think fat is ugly. But for me, I think I'm ugly a lot. I have a random day here and there where I'm like, oh, she cute. But besides that, I think I'm ugly. That's a personal problem. That's not about it.
You have never a day in your life thought you were ugly. I don't believe that for a second. The way you're always like, you're always looking at yourself like that in the camera. If I look at myself in the camera, I'm like, I catch myself. I'm like, ooh, it's a jump scare. What a spook. It's like a point of notice when people discuss you. You are always looking at yourself. You have posted thirst TikToks. You have posted thirst videos. Like, you've posted images of you in very revealing outfits. I don't think so. Nope.
Anyone else. K Lady Sun 89 said, I just graduated with my master's and landed my dream job at 36. It's never too late to be who you want to be. That is freaking amazing. Congratulations. And that is like motivation and inspiration for all the people who are in their 30s and they feel like it's too late. Because trust me, I have felt that way.
I'm 34 and I start EMT school next month. I'm very excited about that because it's a change in my career. And I worked in pharmacy for a long time. I've worked in pharmacy for over 10 years. And I feel like I needed a change in my life. I needed to do something that was more clinical and that was more directly involved with patient care. So I was like, I'm going to go to EMT school. So that's what I'm doing because I want to be a paramedic. And then I want to move up to, I don't know, do something even more intense. But anyone can do anything at any point in their life. You can be 50 and decide you want to go back to school. My mom went back to school to get a master's degree in business when she was in her 50s. And she just did it for fun because my mom is like that. She's one of those people who just liked school. She was like, yeah, I just felt like doing it. Business? A master's degree in business you just felt like doing for fun? That's torture to me. But she's got a master's in business.
Multiple times, but you proved that it's not. So congrats. Lexi Verandas 6708 said, I don't have Instagram. I feel like I miss out on so much. Well, you got picked for the random comment, so it looks like you're not missing out on much. All right, now we're about to do Sippin' Community, where every single Monday I post, y'all ask me questions for my next Let's Talk on my community tab on YouTube. So I can go through, scroll through, we can have a conversation, I can answer some of your questions, so let's get into it. Why do you not think you are the problem in every failed relationship you've had? I'm fully aware that I am the problem in some. I'm not the
girl.
Problem at all. And where I am the problem, I have admitted to that ad nauseum.
Okay, first of all, stop saying ad nauseum. Okay, I got so mad about her saying hecticana, and now I'm like, stop saying ad nauseum. Once again, she learns something, and then that's it. It's all she can say. It's all that's going around in the hamster wheel that is her brain. But you have not taken accountability for anything. You said, well, I might have been controlling. I might have done this. Saying that is not taking accountability. That's still you skirting around the issue. All of your partners in the past have something to say about you, so much so that they have come together to discuss it because they have such similar experiences and issues with how you treated them. Even Emily recently on Instagram was supporting Destiny and Beck with the text messages saying that she felt like she was reading her own text messages from you. You haven't changed one bit. You have always been this way.
I just think that people villainize me so much that they're not able to see that there's also other people in the equation who also are a problem.
Well, of course, obviously, like no one is perfect in a relationship. Obviously, when there are arguments, there are two sides to the argument. And a lot of times, it's not always like 50-50. Usually there's some sort of blame on both sides. Okay. The thing is, Amber, that no one is talking about like, oh, you guys were together and Beck didn't take out the trash. And so you would get upset because you'd be like, Beck, it stinks in here because the trash is overflowing. You need to take it out. And then they were like, oh, well, I don't feel like doing that. And you got into an argument about it or whatever. It's about the fact that you controlled your girlfriends. You treated them like shit. You abused and manipulated them throughout the relationship. You financially abused some of them. And they are all not involved with you. None of them. How is it that you come on here and say you're such a good person and that you've owned up to everything and that you've taken accountability and responsibility for your side of the problem, but not a single one of your ex-partners will come out and say, you know what, yeah, amberlynn did do this stuff to me, but I see the change in her and I see that she's trying to be a better person. No, even with Emily, you are still the same person.
How can you expect people to believe things you say when you've been caught lying multiple times? People think I'm lying about things that I am 100% truthful on, and it's exhausting at this point.
Okay, but once again, you have a history of behaving a certain way. You have a history of lying or lying by omission or not telling the full truth of a situation. So when people are questioning you, it's because of that. It's because you have a history of lying to them. You have a history of just being a liar and about things that like are like inconsequential to your life. Even in your most recent members only live stream, Salty Crab clocked you for having a journal and being like, oh, this journal is so old, you guys. It's like one of my oldest journals and it's really from 2021. Why would you lie about that? Who fucking cares? Like, what is the deal? That is such a bogus thing to lie about. Sometimes I think that you are such a chronic liar that you buy into what you're saying and you forget that you have told a lie. We have watched you on your own video where you react to your lies a few times. You've come out in the Destiny era to talk about your lies. You watched yourself in the Beck era to discuss your lies, and we saw you realize that you were lying about something in real time when you were like, oh shit, I really did lie about that situation. That's why people are not quick to believe what you say.
Even when I prove something, people are still like, oh, she's lying. So it's like, even if I have proof, no matter what I say, people will believe what they want. But if people think I'm nothing but a liar, then why are you watching? Have I lied to protect people that I love and care about? Yes, I have. But
oh, bullshit. No. Nope. No, you haven't. You have lied to protect yourself. That's it. Or to make yourself look a certain way. Like when you lied about Beck buying the engagement rings, that wasn't so you could protect Beck and their feelings and, be like, well, they couldn't afford it, so I did it. No, it was so that you could keep up this image that someone actually spent money on you to propose to you. And then when you guys had a falling out and you no longer spoke to them, you came out and you were like, I paid for my own rings because Beck was such a poor person. It's never to defend someone or in the best interest of someone else. It's to make yourself look better.
When it comes to me, I don't give a fuck. I literally have nothing to lose at this point. Do you ever get tired of talking about yourself constantly? Have you ever considered a hobby outside obsessing about yourself? I do. I get so tired of talking about myself, but like this is my job. So I have to do that. But genuinely, I'm having a struggle bus of a time even doing my weekly vlog this week because like I literally just do not want to talk about myself. But okay. And I'm trying to keep it for you guys. As for hobbies, I have so many hobbies. I am a hobby girly and I go through a lot of like fixations. That's just how I've always been. But one thing that someone cannot say about me is amberlynn doesn't have hobbies and that she needs to get one because
amberlynn has 2 hobbies. No, I lied. 3. She has 3 hobbies. 1 is Legos. 2 is bingo. And 3 is journaling. I guess she does have a couple of hobbies. I don't know. Maybe go to like a neighborhood cleanup or something.
I definitely do. Probably too many hobbies. Please clear up this rumor that you have never done follow-up care post-hysterectomy. You can literally just go back and look at the vlogs because I filmed a lot of my cancer journey. Of course, there's a lot that I kept out. But when I would have a CT scan follow-up, I would be vlogging. I'd be like, yeah, I just had my CT scan. Here's how it went. Like when I was vlogging, I'd be like, yeah, I just had my CT scan. Here's how it went. I'm really nervous, etc. etc. Like I gave a lot of updates. I have always done the follow-ups for my cancer. I have always done the follow-ups after my hysterectomy. That is something that I did not mess with. Why do you always start
I'm not talking about her cancer anymore. I'm just not going to do it.
beef with your partner's mothers? There was no beef, as you call
Yes.
it, between Tommy's mom and me or Feline's mom and me.
Because I don't think you ever met them. Did you? Like, did you meet? Maybe you met Tommy's mother or whatever. But the thing is, you were there for 3 months. That's not really enough time to develop a serious beef. But you had one with Casey's mother. I don't know about Crystal's mom, but you had one with her sister. You had a beef with Destiny's mom big time. Mendy did not like you at all. Not one bit. And good on her for that. She wasn't perfect, but she knew. She clocked you from the minute you came into Destiny's life. And then you had a beef with Beck's mom. Norma also didn't like you. Called you out many times. And it was public information that she did not like you. And she thought that you were bad for Beck and using Beck. Who else? Let's see. Jade, we didn't know much about anything when it came to Jade. So I'm not going to believe anything you say about her because she's not on here to defend herself or to speak about it. So I'm not going to say one way or another. And then Tommy, you spent a whole hot minute with. And you only spent some time in Wisconsin with her. And that was mostly in her house or at a bar. I can't really speak on that one either.
Crystal's mom and me. I'm not going to get into the whole Beck and Destiny, like the mom situation between that. But yeah, there was some rough stuff going on there. But at the end of the day, there was also a lot of love. And I have proof of that. Why do you
that doesn't matter. That you're like, well, they loved me at one point. Destiny's mom was sick and tired of you doing nothing. You wanted to lose weight. You constantly complained about losing weight. Mendy tried to help you. And then you just totally shit on her. And then y'all got into physical fights. And I'm not saying that's right, but you got into knockdown, drag out fights with her to the point that it traumatized Destiny. And then with Beck's mom, okay, Beck's mom may have sent you some nice messages, but at the end of the day, they had an intervention for Beck. After Norma's messages came out and whatnot, and Norma said that she did not like you and that she felt like you were using Beck. And then the family had an intervention. So you really think that Beck's mom just absolutely loved you? I can't. This is why people say you're a narcissist and why people don't trust what you say. Because we have proof. We have proof that these people didn't like you.
I think all of your relationships end up failing. I'm only going to speak on my side of things, definitely because I don't know how to regulate. I get too extreme, too attached, too obsessed, for lack of a better word. I'm extremely sensitive, and I have had controlling habits in the past. All right.
You are controlling and obsessive and needy, and not in the sense that like, oh, I need some validation for my feelings or whatever. You are literally attached to people. We saw it with Destiny, where you were always physically holding on to her. Same with Emily. Same with Jade. Always the touchy-feely. Like, always had to have someone touching you and talking to you and hyping you up about everything. You're a tiring person to be around in a relationship and in friendship. Just watching you, I can see it. I would go home and take like a 14-hour nap. I would take a coma. You are so exhausting to be around. You're high maintenance, you're whiny, you're mean. You might spend money on gifts and whatnot for people, but gifts are so surface level when you are being an abusive person. That's such an abusive tactic too, to be like, well, I gave gifts. Oh, so because you were so giving to me, I'm supposed to just take your crap? Okay, I don't think so.
Now we're on to the interview.
Oh, God.
And this is where you can go to my Instagram and send me a voice memo asking any question that you want. So my Instagram is hecticamby, which you will see right here. If you don't have the option to send me a voice memo, send me a little microphone emoji and I will accept your request so you can then send me the voice memo. So
here's my question. Did Jade take out a restraining order on you? Because you wouldn't leave her alone? How about that?
I am choosing at random. I will be choosing old voice memos from last week, and I'll be choosing new ones as well. So you always have a chance to be picked. So it's not like, oh, you sent me 1 week ago, you might not get picked. It's always going to be completely at random.
Okay, so my question is, if you could choose one reaction channel to eliminate, not from live, from YouTube, from talking about you, they voluntarily choose to stop talking about you, who would it be and why? And I feel like
Salty crap, the ankle, Jordy. Like Mr. Snowflake, I mean, she would choose all of them. Let's be real. She would absolutely be like, nuke him off the planet.
it would be Snowflake, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh my god, you know, that's actually a really freaking good question. More than likely, I would choose Snowflake or the ankle because they're the two that take really serious situations that have happened to me in my life, and they say that I'm lying about it, or they...
The thing is, like, I think that, first of all, I think the ankle just talks about how he's feeling in the moment. Is he always correct? No. And I've disagreed with some of the things he said, but I think that he just puts the pressure on Amber constantly. And then Mr. Snowflake is kind of takes a piss out of her a lot, so she absolutely hates that. She hates that she can't really get under his skin with anything, even with some really wild accusations that she's made. It just doesn't seem to faze him at all. And I think that really pisses her off. So I'm not surprised by those two choices. I think then after that, it would be Jordy and then Salty Crab.
They take situations and they make it into something like huge and massive that isn't even real, and they plant a label on me that is damaging and completely false. I don't...
Like you have with so many people, like you've tried to do with a ton of people, like you tried to do even with people who weren't involved at all in situations, like Destiny's brother, when you spoke about his addiction. And you've called people names and you've called people very damaging things, but oh no, when it's involving you, when it's coming back at you, well, suddenly it's very, very damaging and mean-spirited, and they shouldn't have a platform. Listen, I don't talk about things that I can't really verify, and if I get conflicting information to what I have said, obviously I would say so. There are things out there that you have done yourself. I'm sorry. For them to call you a weirdo for the way you acted with Libby, who was 10 years your junior and a minor and in high school, and the way you kept pushing her with, like, Nick, who was very strange to say the least. And we'll get into that when we get to, like, retro reacts and stuff with him in it, because he's a very odd and controversial figure in the Amberverse because of how he acted with Libby. So for them to come out and say, you're weird for that, and you're weird for going after people who are like 19 years old when you're 33, 34, I'm not going to say that they're wrong because I agree with them. Do I think they should call you some very serious names? No. I think like, you know, too, with you and Casey, that made people feel very uncomfortable. Especially with what you asked him to do and provide you with. So that's not okay. I just think that it's funny that you come on here and act like these people are just pulling things out of thin air when there's proof. There's proof out there. Credible, verifiable proof that you have acted in a certain way that is unsavory and unsettling.
Mind a reaction channel. Nitpick all you want. Like, I really don't care. But when it comes to, like, the deeper shit, I should just be left alone.
Hey, Amberlynn, this is my third attempt at this voice note. I'm going to try my best not to swear either. I've been watching this in context for like 7+ years. I also have BPD. I've done some very bad things in my life, which I regret, I've changed, etc.
I genuinely relate to that.
And sometimes it's really hard.
What do you relate to? Huh? Taking ownership? Changing your habits, changing your ways, going to therapy to find better coping mechanisms than drinking and spiraling out on live? Like, what are we talking about? You genuinely haven't changed. You haven't changed in the 11 years that you have been on this platform.
Hard because I think you're a very likable person, but you also
Thank you.
do really messed up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like what I'm trying trying to get at is I want to really believe that you regret those things and you want to change because, you know, I know how hard it can be. And I think my question would be like, if you could change one thing, like one situation in your life that you think has steered you in the wrong direction, what would you have changed and where do you think you could be in life now had you acted differently or done something differently, or maybe you wouldn't change anything? I don't know.
Normally when people ask this question, it's very much like, what do you wish wouldn't have happened to you that would make your life different now? But I took your question as like, what do you wish you wouldn't have done? If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but that's kind of what I got.
That is exactly what they asked. They were like, what would you change in something that you did? And she's like, well, I wish that this situation hadn't happened to me. Amber, I
Got out of it. And for me, it's without a doubt the controlling nature that I had with Beck. Like sometimes I look back at it and I'm just like, wow, I regret that with every single part of me.
Wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe I
Oh, is that all you're gonna say? Oh my God, Amber, nothing. We're not gonna elaborate that at all. I was kind of controlling. Oopsies. Maybe say what you did, how it affected the relationship, and why you want to change that. And obviously it's because you're looking back and being like, that wasn't a good look. Not that you drastically changed them as a person. Like, once again, nothing for accountability. We're not going there. We are just not going there, babes.
actually get to talk to you. Hi.
Hello.
And you are right when you say people who publicly
I just heard your kitty.
leave you good comments do get bashed. Because I am one of them.
Oh,
But I don't care when people say nasty things to me. It doesn't bother me.
I feel bad about it because it's like people don't deserve that. I'm glad
It's
that
like
you
a
have that like
sounds
strong
scripted.
nature about you, but it's just like I feel horrific because some people don't have that strength, you know? Okay, let me keep listening, sorry.
But my question for you is, what is one thing that you have said out loud to the public that you wish you could have taken back? Or maybe one thing you have done that you wish you could have taken back? And by the way, I love you. Please don't ever stop making videos and always ignore the haters.
I hate these Am babies who just kiss her ass. I don't know how you can come on here and see someone verbally abuse and control their partners, talk down to them, and then afterwards also watch as their partners discuss the controlling, manipulative, verbally, emotionally, financially abusive relationship that they were in, discussing that and be like, I just love you. You're just like, I know you're like a little bit quirky and controversial, but like, I just really enjoy your content. I know there's like a separating art from the artist thing and whatever, but I'm not going to come on here and listen to the stories of not one, not two, not three, but 4 different partners of Amber's, because you know what? Even though Emily she's her own problem in and of herself, but she is also talking about how it was a very rocky relationship and that Destiny and Beck aren't exaggerating in what they're discussing. So I think for you to be like, it's fine, just ignore the haters. It's not hateful for people to hold someone accountable. It's not hateful for people to say what you did was messed up. And it's not hateful for people to dislike a person because they have never, ever shown any sort of remorse for their actions. I don't dislike Amber because she has BPD or because she has NPD or because she has emotional problems or because she weighs 523 pounds or because she always has a cycle of her eating and dieting and dating and whatever. If she was a serial dater and she dated a bunch of other partners and had this cycle of dieting or whatever, maybe I'd be like a little annoyed. I would be like, damn, okay, like whatever. Not with the dating, but with like the cycle of coming on here being like, I'm gonna diet, I'm gonna lose weight, just kidding, I'm gonna eat whatever I want and gain a bunch of weight and then blah blah blah, you know. That wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't feel anything besides being like, maybe she needs to get a little bit of a better grip on her choices. But I don't like her as a person because of the way she has treated people in the past. You know, it's not just like an oopsie, I was mean once, because everyone's been mean once. I was mean before, and I'm going to come on here and absolutely 100% say, I used to be really mean. And sometimes I still have mean tendencies. There are some times where I'm editing and I'm like, you know what? Maybe that is a little too harsh, because I tend to be a harsh person from time to time. And I have to kind of really think about what I say and how I say things. And that's part of because I have ADHD. So sometimes I'm very blunt in what I say. And I'm like, that was probably a little bit too much for someone, because I've learned through therapy and whatnot that when I say things, even though I may think that it's like, well, this is factual, this is just how it is, it's not very nice. So I have to really think about what I say. And that's why sometimes you'll see me really like thinking, or I have pauses, because I'm trying to choose my words more carefully. I'm not going to sit here and if I hurt someone's feelings, I'm not going to sit here and be like, sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Like that, whatever I said, I said something that hurt you, and that is on me. I have to think about how I choose my words and how I choose my actions. Amber just comes on here is like, I said it because I have BPD and I can't regulate my emotions. So these things happen because I'm really bad at regulation. Okay, well, I'm really bad at trying to tiptoe around subjects. So I have to actively think about what I'm doing. If you know that this is one of your downfalls and one of your problems, then you actively have to make a change. It's not something that passively happens. And I know it's much more difficult and it's tiring and whatnot, but you have to do it. If you want to become a better person, which I don't think she does. I think she's perfectly happy with the way she is. I think she likes who she is as a person. She likes how she looks. She likes how she feels. She likes her emotional state. She likes being this sort of pariah in the YouTube sphere because she acts so ridiculous, and then she can use it to play up as a victim. I think she likes who she is. Which is, again, why when she talks about her BPD and is like, I don't know who I am as a person, or I have no sense of identity, I don't think that's true. I think she likes who she is. She hasn't changed at all. So it leads me to believe that you're happy with who you are as a person. And again, if she came out and said, I don't care, I don't give a shit, this is who I am, more power to you, Amber. I would have less to say, because I'd be like, well, she likes being this type of person, but she pretends like she's such a good person. So, babies, I need you to be deprogrammed.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love you too. So I think one thing that I wish I would have never shared was the abusive relationship that I was in when I was a teenager. Without a doubt, I wish I would have never, ever vocalized that.
Okay.
Are we talking about Casey? Are we talking about that? Because you were the abuser, Amber. You. Your track record with other partners proves that Casey's claims are valid. And you're the one who came out here with Rain and Petals eavesdrop. You used the wrong word about a situation that you came on here onto the internet claiming happened to you, then retracted your statement because it was untrue. And then you made things more difficult for people like me and like a lot of others out there who actually have been through the situation that you were making false allegations towards. And you make it more difficult for us, because then people are like, well, look at people like amberlynn who came on here and used it as clout. Sorry to get heated, but like that situation is really where like it turned from being like, oh, Amber's just kind of like weird, to wow, Amber is actually a piece of shit. If that's what you're talking about, if that's the relationship you're discussing, you coming on here and doubling down after you retracted your statement and said you used the wrong word, oopsie poopsie, it doesn't sit right with me, and it never will.
Hey, Amberlynn.
Hello.
This is Kate. You can totally keep my name in the video. Shout out to my friends, Miranda, Jesse, Annie, Sarah. We all love watching you so much. Also, me and my husband, Stefan, love watching you.
Aww.
To the question, I know we are not dating anyone right now. Fuck all of these girls.
Fuck them all.
If you had to describe your dream date, what would it be? Where would you go? Tell me everything.
Okay.
Cheesecake Factory. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
All right, so we're gonna go into like a fairy tale land, okay? What it would look like is like we're in Vegas and my stamina is better, so like we're gonna take that out of the equation, okay? So we're in Vegas.
Why, so
and
she
maybe
can
we're
drink?
doing a little bit of casino of this, and maybe just like walking around and doing a little adventure of this. And there's just lots of flirting, and there's lots of like touching, and there's a lot of laughter, chemistry, and then there's like dinner, and you're like sitting and talking, getting to know each other, and you're doing the googly eyes. And then afterwards, maybe you go get a drink somewhere, and again, there's more just like hot passion. If you know, you know. And then after that, maybe there's like a hotel, or we go back to, well, yeah, it would be a hotel because I don't live in Vegas. I don't think the person I'm dating lives in Vegas. So there would be a hotel. We go back there and there's more googly eyes, laughter, getting to know each other. And then you know what goes down? I don't know. I'm very just like laid back. I just want to have fun. I love going out, doing things. And I genuinely feel like I just described my most recent relationship. That's weird. Besides we weren't in Vegas, but regardless, that's my real authentic answer. And
That's literally like the exact thing she was in with Emily. They would go out all the time, go to like, I don't know if they went to casinos. I don't know if Wisconsin has casinos. Sorry, I'm uneducated about Wisconsin. Wisconsinites, is that even what they call them? Wisconsin cheeseheads? Can you tell me if you guys have casinos out there, because I'm ill-informed about the casino geography in Wisconsin. Honestly, that's exactly what she did with Emily. It was just going out and going to bars, maybe like arcades and like karaoke bars. I think that's kind of the scene she was at. Going to those, drinking a ton, eating a ton of food, getting fed by Emily, going to hotels. Oh my God. And then it all came crashing down because Emily definitely did not want to be that committed and was like, let's keep this LDR. And Amber was like, but I moved my pets here already. Rarity is out in the cold. Anyway.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Hi, Amberlynn. I'm currently in university getting my degree in English, and I was wondering, if you went back to college, what would you want to study?
Well, that's awesome. Congrats to you. You're going to do great. For me, I definitely would study psychology because I have...
Oh, no. No, ma'am, absolutely not. Let me tell you something. With your bullshit that you spew about psychology, you absolutely should not even touch a textbook that has to do with psychology. Do you know how intricate psychology is? I mean, like I've said before, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a degree in it. I have a degree in elementary education, okay? I have an associate's degree in that. So I had to take things like early childhood psychology. I had to learn about psychology from like infancy up until about like first or second grade. And and then I took like general psychology, I took abnormal psychology. I have a lot of background in psychology, but and my little sister actually could have had like a double major in psychology because she took so many psych courses. So she's very well informed in psychology as well. And there is no way, abso-fucking-lutely not, you would be such a disastrous addition to psychology because everything you talk about is so ill-informed and pushes stereotypes and stigmas, and I just think that you would do a disservice to the community. So no. And also, psychology is not like this quirky fun thing to like learn about, it's just like what she did with criminal justice, where she was like, I want to like do that. My sister was a CJ. She is like a CJ major, and so she was a CJ major and almost double majored in psychology because she had so many credits in psych courses that she could have done it. But no, Amber, absolutely not. I watched how my sister did in school, and my sister is a smarty, okay? My sister was like honors. She's so smart. I can't speak more. I cannot speak more positively about my little sister. I am so proud of her. But she worked her butt off. I mean, really, really, really worked her butt off to get the grades she got and put in so much work and effort. And Amber, no.
I have always been very interested in the human mind. I like to know, why do we do these things? Why is our brains like this? Tell me more. Like
why is our brains like this?
I was going to college. Psychology was my all-time favorite class.
Hi, Amberlynn. I'm messaging from Scotland in the UK.
Wow.
And my question is, why do you think everyone believes everything that Beck has to say? Because I don't believe any of it. I believe you.
How the fuck do you not believe things that Beck has to say when there is proof and also is corroborated by other exes? How is there's video proof of how Amber treated them on Amber's channel? How the fuck can you be an Amber fan, watch that shit, even have Amber say, I was controlling? Beck comes out and says, Amber controlled me. Amber was very much controlling things behind the scenes and in the videos and stuff. And then have Amber come on and say, yeah, I was a controlling girlfriend. And then have you be like, I don't believe Beck. What the fuck? What world am I living in? What the fuck is going on, okay? What day and age are we in where a partner comes out and says, look at all this proof I fucking have about this person controlling me and treating me like shit and abusing me. And then you say, I'm going to side with the abuser, even though there's proof on their own fucking channel. You're an idiot. Whoever said that, you're an idiot.
Oh my God, the tea. Damn, girl. It's just easier. It's just more fun. It's more entertainment.
It's not fun to have someone recount their abuse, okay? It's not fun. Obviously, see, I'm getting heated because obviously I've been in a relationship with a narcissist. I've been abused before. It's not fun. You are someone who gets so angry at the drop of a hat, and we've seen it. We've seen you get worked up, and we've heard you get worked up. And, you know, your partners come out and say that you were worked up, that you would throw things around, that you would hit the walls. They were scared of you. That's what it was like living with the person I used to live with. That's what it was like. Throwing things, hitting things to intimidate me, to make me feel scared and little, to make me feel like, well, if I continue to go against what they say, they're going to throw things or hit the wall, or maybe next time me. So this whole, like, it's easier and it's fun to listen to. It's not fun. Trust me, as someone who has been through it, it's not fun to listen to someone and be like, damn, I can recognize the signs because I went through it too. Okay, Amber? That's not fun for anyone involved. Least fun is for Beck and for Destiny and for Casey and for Tommy or Emily. They're not having a good time reliving what they experienced with you.
People want to see me in a bad light. So in any way that they can do that, they're going to do that. And that includes believing anyone that comes out against me, even if it's hogwash. And honestly,
whoever taught her ad nauseum and hogwash, your days are numbered. Here's the thing. I've spoken about things that I believe Amber on. And I have, not that I support Amber in like anything, but I've spoken about things, I came out and said Alexis is a weirdo. I said that Amber obviously has cancer and has proved it. And I worked in oncology. So I can say that, yeah, those things that she showed are cancer diagnoses. Like, that is a cancer diagnosis. I can say it because I have experience in the field. So I can verify the claim. I've come out to talk about other people in the Amberverse. I have not always, I don't blindly support people that I think don't deserve it. Yes, it's very easy to hate on Amber because she is a very dislikable person. I think it's very difficult to come out and say when she is right about something. I think that some people do carry on with things even if they are disproven or if they are verified. And I don't think that's okay. But Amber, you're just, no matter what, you really are at the center of the problem. Everything else around you always points to you. That's why people are like, it must be Amber. Amber is the issue.
I feel like sometimes people don't even believe Beck, but they just say they do just to continue the narrative that Amberlynn is the most awful person in the whole entire world. But I just want to say thank you and also thank everyone else who doesn't fall into that trap. All right, you guys, now.
And this is why I don't believe a thing she says when it comes to being like, I'm taking accountability. I'm going to therapy to get better. I take responsibility for the things that are wrong, because she calls what happened to Beck a trap. and that people who decide to believe Beck and are looking at all of the evidence surrounding what went down with Beck, Destiny, Casey, Emily. I'm talking about those four because those are the four who decided to really speak out. I'm not obviously talking about like Erica, because who fucking cares? That wasn't even a relationship. I'm not talking about Jade or Crystal, because the two of them have not spoken out. But Crystal does not talk to amberlynn anymore. They do not communicate. So I think we should really think about that. She calls the things that she did to these people when they speak out about it a trap. That's why I don't believe her when she's like, I am taking accountability. I am doing so much better. I'm a different person. You're not. You're not, and you never will be. You'll never, ever change. Even if you go to DBT, even if you did like a million different therapies, even if you fill out 1,000 BPD workbooks, you're not going to change. It's just not happening.
Now it's time for tea or tail.
Christ.
This is going to be a time for me to address rumors that I see floating around the community. I'm going to either tell you yes, that's tea, or no, that's tail. amberlynn has not been diagnosed with BPD because she said in her live stream that the psychologist told her she needs to see a specialist. So I was seeing a psychologist for about 9 months, and it was around the 8-month mark where I was finally diagnosed with BPD. So when I expressed that that psychologist said I need to see a specialist, it is because they wanted me to heal from BPD, and they...
Okay, so, Miss Psychology Lynn, we don't speak in terms of like being healed from something or being cured or things like that, because when it comes to mental health disorders, you're not going to be cured or healed. You can find healing in the process. You can find healing for traumatic things that have occurred. You're not being healed of BPD. You would have it, period. Also, I don't feel like that's enough time to really diagnose someone, especially since I don't think I don't know, was she going weekly? I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like you would need to spend more time to understand the person, their ups and downs, talk to like the therapist said in the video that I linked in the other in my other reaction. You would need to have like a pretty long-term relationship with your therapist, and they would probably want to speak to people in your life who saw what you were like day to day and could corroborate historically as well what went on. But I don't think that's what she said either. I don't think it was like, oh, the psychologist diagnosed me and then told me to see a specialist so I could get the correct type of therapy. Obviously not, because she continued to do CBT and then did EMDR and then went to DBT. If she knew all the way back in 2023 that she was diagnosed with BPD and the therapist recommended her to see a specialist in BPD, that would have been DBT. It wouldn't have just been like some other therapist. They would have done DBT because that's the recommended therapy for people with BPD. I think it's recommended for cluster B disorders. She didn't do that, and I think she said that the psychologist couldn't diagnose her, which was wrong, which is why she answered the other question about if a psychologist or a psychiatrist could diagnose BPD or if a specialist had to do it.
They did not work with BPD patients in that way. Yes, I was absolutely diagnosed. It's just the psychologist who diagnosed me didn't specialize in BPD. When you are diagnosed with BPD, you do not have to be diagnosed by a person who specializes in it. But to heal from it and to do therapy for it, it is better to see someone who specializes.
Stop saying
for
to
it.
heal.
So that is what I meant. So obviously that is tail. When the AirPod is in amberlynn's ear, that means she is in a relationship.
Lol.
That is obviously tail, because that doesn't even make sense. Because if you go back and look at vlogs when I was in a relationship with Feline, I either had the Beats headphones, I had an AirPod in my ear at all times. Literally, that is genuinely just because I don't like this.
It's because when she was talking to, or when she was vlogging, when she was with Tommy, it was always in her ear because Tommy was always on FaceTime with her. And then when she said that they broke up, she continued to have the like one ear pod in and was like, we broke up. And then it came out as a lie. And then like, she's not wearing the ear pods now. So I think people kind of connected those things.
The silence. I always have to be listening to something. Amberlynn is an alcoholic.
Yes.
Tail. And a very...
No, not tail, Miss Ma'am. I'm going to tell you as a former heavy drinker, like that is not a tail. You have a history, both yourself and familial, of addiction. And you rely heavily on alcohol to get you through situations that you're uncomfortable in. And you drink and drink and drink, and you have had drinks, or you have drank so much that even I was like, how is she even speaking? Like when you downed that whiskey, that pint of whiskey, yeah, that was, you're telling me that you don't drink often and you were able to put that back in a short period of time too. The one time I did that, not with whiskey, but with red wine, I like absolutely just guzzled a bottle of red wine in like a half an hour, and it came all back up in like within like 30 minutes. I thought I had alcohol poisoning. It was so bad, and I was a heavy drinker at the time. So housing that entire pint of whiskey in the short period of time you did, don't tell me that you don't drink often.
Offensive one at that. Just because I have 2 or 3 White Claws once a week during a live stream does not make me an alcoholic. When I go on my live stream, I genuinely feel like I'm hanging out with a bunch of friends. So does that mean people who are like out having fun with their friends, or even just in their home a couple times a week, they just have a couple drinks just to feel a little buzz? Does that make them an alcoholic?
Yes. When it comes to using alcohol as a coping mechanism, yeah. When you feel like you have to be drinking to do something, yeah, it does. It does make you an alcoholic. You drink multiple times a week because anytime you're on live stream. So you could, sometimes you live stream twice a week and you're drinking multiple White Claws twice a week, and you go out. Who knows what happens when you go out? And then like when you were with Tommy, you drank almost the entire time you were with her. And then after or before that, you were drinking crazy amounts with Jade. I think the last time we saw you not drink at all was like with Beck. And I think you only had like a margarita. You have addiction issues. You yourself have addiction issues because you are a food addict. You have a problem with eating. You have a familial connection to it. So there's a genetic predisposition. So when addiction is a common trait in families, there's a predisposition that you have, that you also have this higher likelihood of being an addict yourself. Both your parents struggled with addiction issues, and you coming on here and being like, I only have like a couple of White Claws a week. Okay, but you are using them. You're not going out and having a glass of wine with your friends. You're coming on here, you're crying about situations, you're talking about exes, you're talking about all these issues you have in your life, and drinking at the same time. Are we really on this? Yeah, no, Amber, you have a problem. If I was your friend in real life and I saw this, I would tell you had a drinking problem.
No, I have voiced my concerns with alcohol in the past, and I'm telling you, it is not like that.
But isn't it funny that you stopped drinking when you were with Tommy, when Tommy was having, I keep saying Tommy, it's really Emily, but like whatever. You stopped drinking with Emily when Emily was having health issues, but as soon as everything went down with Emily, with actually breaking up with her, you picked up that White Claw right away. You went right to it. I would be concerned. If I was your friend, I'd be concerned.
The only time I drink is when I am on live stream, and I didn't even drink last night for my live stream. I don't have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, so that does not make me an alcoholic. And I think it's offensive to those who actually do struggle. And
okay, I'm coming here as someone who did have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, who did struggle with alcohol, who used alcohol as a coping mechanism. I'm coming on here totally raw and vulnerable, saying that I had a problem in the past due to my relationship. I used to drink to get through it. because it was easier to be in a stupor than it was to deal with the person I was with. And then after that, it was easier to deal with numbing everything I was feeling with alcohol than it was to fully recognize what I had went through, what I had been put through, and learn how to cope with that, because I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism. And that put a bad strain on the relationship I had with my husband. This is before we got married. It put a bad strain on the relationship I had with my husband and my family and the people around me. When I come on here and say I understand what it's like to have a bad relationship, I truly mean it. And you come on here every single time you drink, it's never for like a social fun moment. It's not to be like out with your friends or whatever, because like, whilst I think it was weird that you were always drinking with Emily, at least I could be like, well, Amberlynn is going out being social. She's hanging out with friends. She's hanging out with her girlfriend at the time. Like, I get that. But you always come on here and drink when you're talking about things that upset you, because you're using it so you can numb yourself, or so you can be, not feeling, or I don't know, maybe so you can have an excuse to be like, well, I was drunk, so I said it. I don't know what your end goal is, but the fact of the matter is you do have a bad relationship with alcohol. Every time it's always been it's been bad. Chantal has a bad relationship with alcohol too. We watched her many, many times come on and get into a drunken stupor and talk about things going on in her life, or using it to cope with the things going on in her life. You do the same thing.
It's also painful for me because of what I grew up with. I grew up with a bunch of addicts and alcoholics. All right, you guys, it is time for bad choices. That's where I take 5 of these cards.
Right.
They're very
my
hard
favorite
questions,
part.
so let's get into it. So I'm just going to choose 5 random ones just to get them going. So here we go. Oop. All right, that's 5. All right, first one is, have you ever been punched in the face? That is a yes. Second one,
Don't say it, Finny.
would you get a lot of enjoyment from being a member of the opposite sex for a day? If it's only for a day,
God,
then
no.
yes. Do you think?
No. I don't know. I mean, like, technically, I guess since I'm non-binary, there is no opposite for me. Maybe agender. I don't know. That would be fine with me, because I kind of fuck with that. But if we're talking about like what I'm assigned at birth and would I want to be assigned male, no, I'm good.
Think that you will age well? No, probably not. Have
No.
you ever had more than 8 shots in one night? Probably like once or twice.
You absolutely have. I'm sorry. I think about the pint of whiskey. That's more than 8 shots.
Would you spend the night in a full porta potty for $10,000? Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me think.
The,
I hate a
well,
porta potty, but $10,000 is really good.
where'd it come from?
I think I would.
Where's the porta potty from? Because if it's from like a construction site or Coachella, that is not enough money. But if it's from like the beach or whatever, I could probably withstand it. Well, I can withstand the small size of it, but I think the smell, I might actually freak out, because not even like, it's just the weird smell of it. I would be like, ew. Also, I guess if I had, I don't know, I probably could, because I would just, if I was allowed to bring my phone in, my headphones in, I would be okay, I think.
Literally sit in there and I just scroll Instagram. I don't know, maybe vlog. So that is the end of this Let's Talk. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know that I did. I will see you guys
Porter
next
potty
week. Bye.
vlog would probably be more interesting, honestly. Oh, bye. She's done. She just pisses me off. And babies who are just blindly faithful to her piss me off, because I don't think anyone should be blindly faithful or just believe everything that everyone says all the time without some sort of evidentiary support. This video is just, it's weird. She just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth, and I have a lot of sensory issues, so I don't like that at all. That's it for today's video. I want to say thank you again to everyone who reached out to me about the prior situation. I probably won't speak on it again unless something is brought up once more that sways in one way or another, or if Jade actually decides to address the situations at hand. As for this video, please leave your comments down below. Tell me what you thought. What do we think about Amber's potential alcoholism? What do we think about Amber pretending like she absolutely isn't the problem in every single one of her relationships? I'm interested to hear your thoughts and feelings. That's going to do it for me for this video. Leave a like if you are so inclined, or leave a dislike. I don't care either way. You're entitled to your opinion, even if it is wrong. That's it for me. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!